What's going on, guys? Graham GS and Matthews here with FanSided Daily DDT.com. Coming up next Tuesday, NWA Powerrr live for the first time ever in Knoxville, January 31st. It's going to be a big show, one of the NWA's biggest shows today, a live Powerrr, like I said, first time ever. And taking part in the card, the country gentlemen themselves, Anthony Andrews, AJ Cazana. AJ, Anthony, thanks for taking the time today, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Now, I know one of you guys
thanks,
has yeah, absolutely. I know one of you guys has ties to Knoxville. So talk about a little bit about that and how special that we're getting such a big show for the NWA on a show like this for a show like this in Knoxville. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm actually born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been all up and down I-75 up here, but Knoxville's always going to be home. It's a huge deal because the wrestling scene in Knoxville has been dead for the most part of the last 40 years as far as like big independent-ish promotions. I don't consider the NWA an independent promotion by any means, but the independent promotions that run here can't rival what the NWA can bring, and being able to bring a promotion that has got this much history, that has ties to Knoxville as far back as like my great grandfather. I know that's the big thing is like Big John ran from like 53 to like 73 before I think he was bought out by the Fullers, and then the Fullers ran for another 10, 15 years. And then that's kind of when I think when the Fuller Welch family stopped running was when the last time like Knoxville saw really, really good wrestling outside of like the Fed bringing in people. But you know, WCW and Smoky Mountain tried to run a little bit here, and WWE comes in and tries to run, but it's a town that's dying for good professional wrestling, and not only good professional wrestling, I think consistently good professional wrestling. So hopefully with the NWA deciding to do some live powers, I know we probably plan on having more depending on how this one goes. It's a huge deal to be the staple and I guess the number one spot that they chose to run their first ever live event. So it's pretty cool that it gets to be 30 minutes from my house and my family gets to be there, and they don't just have to watch it on TV or anything.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask if you're going to have any friends or family in the audience. I think for them to be able to
Too
see you
many.
on a show like that. Yeah, too many, you said?
Too many.
Yeah.
This is when everybody's like, hey, man, get me free tickets. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get fired if I ask for any more.
Yeah, right. Do you guys have any inkling of an idea of what you might be doing it on the show, or is there an advertised match, or you're not sure?
Yeah, so that's actually what's so big about this, because there's family. AJ wears it on his sites all the time, family first.
Yeah.
We're going in as a family against the Fixers for the U.S. Tag Team Championships.
Nice.
So that's what's big for us, is we get to go in, do that in a town that means so much to the entire family. AJ has Legacy on all of his gear. He has Family First on all of his gear, everything. And so we get to go in front of AJ's close family, sit there and win the U.S. Tag Team Championships for the NWA.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say this is the perfect opportunity for you guys that we talked about a second ago before we hit live here, but you got the championship right behind you, Anthony, from RCW. AJ, I know you got the belt buckle right beside you as well, but looking to add more championship gold to your collection with this show on Tuesday. Like you said, facing the Fixers, who have been a dominant team since they won the belts back in the summer. When you hear that another set of tag team titles is being created or being brought back this last summer for the NWA 74 pay-per-view, you guys got to be excited, right? It gives you another opportunity to chase for gold beyond just the NWA World Tag Team titles.
No, I mean the World Tag Team titles and the world title of any promotion.
Sure.
Like the world title, any world title is the ultimate goal. I think I can speak for Anthony and myself, but the U.S. tag titles are definitely a good start for a couple. I'm going to call us young in the business because I'm fairly new to this wrestling business, and Anthony, I know, is not a 30-year seasoned vet or anything by any means. I think we all stay young at heart. I'm going to bring him down to me because, you know, poor guy has to tag with a guy like me. But I think the U.S. tag titles are a good start. And because I don't want to say stepping stone, I feel like that demeans them, but definitely like it gives us an opportunity to give us an opportunity to cement ourselves in the legacy, if you will, of professional wrestling with the National Wrestling Alliance, and start making runs at world titles across any promotion, and especially those NWA world titles that are currently held by the La Rebellion. I almost couldn't speak Spanish this morning.
Well,
But
It is his first language.
go ahead.
Real quick, I did just want to mention, and thank you for mentioning RCW. Like we talked about before we hopped on, they're having a show in San Antonio this weekend, same weekend as the Royal Rumble. They're doing the Rumble Royal. He stepped up and helped out because the show canceled, and we're actually putting on a show to help. One, it's just a great promotion to work for, and two, helping a lot of those people who were on that show actually have a match. As far as the U.S. Tag Championships, I did want to mention they debuted at NWA 74. We were part of that Rumble to actually crown those champions. The main reason I think we have this match is because we fought the Fixers, and it was a fight down in New Orleans. And so I think NWA, everyone saw that. They know that coming up in Knoxville, it's going to be a fight between the Country Gentlemen and the Fixers. And we're proud to win those championships. Mr. Corgan tried to give new tag belts to the Fixers to replace the U.S. Tag Championships that they have with duct tape or athletic tape or masking tape or something. So we're going to be proud to carry those championships down into Tampa. And then, March 4th, we're going down to Mexico. We're going to hold those when we ride into Mexico too.
Nice. A lot to look forward to. Yeah, no, that's going to be a great matchup. Like you said, you guys originally clashed on that NWA 74 show. The chemistry shown in that match was what led to this match here. Was that the moment for you guys as a team? I guess I'll ask you, Anthony, first, where you guys felt like you really clicked, or was it a moment prior to that, after that, you felt like you really, all right, we found our chemistry as a team. We're really starting to gel. Or do you feel like you guys are still finding your footing as a team?
I mean, we're always learning and getting better, but the thing is, like I mentioned, with family, like I said, it's on AJ's gear every show, Family First Farms. That's a big thing to me. I really saw us connect in that chemistry. It was actually the night before. It was night one of NWA 74 because we were going up against Marche and Jordan Clearwater. They tried to get a cheap shot. AJ was right there. He had my back, and he's the one who won that match. And that's when I really felt that chemistry click. I know that we're family, but anytime that I've needed him, any cheap shot, AJ's always right there, and he has my back, and I can always count on him. Same as Knoxville with the Fixers. I mean, I know they're close. They think they're kings together of pro wrestling or something like that. They can yell Fixers rule really loud. I get that. But I've got someone in that ring who always has my back. And as important as tag championships are and when it matches, family's always first, and AJ's always there.
Would you agree with that, AJ?
Oh yeah, I'd agree wholeheartedly with that. There's just something that you have when you're related to the person. You've got that innate ability to know when something's going wrong or know when you need to do something, and that's huge in tag team wrestling. To be able to communicate without saying a word. So I know we're still trying to find our footing with some of the stuff, meshing our styles, if you will, and but we've got a little advantages that we already kind of know each other a little bit. You know what I mean? So so I mean it's always going to be an uphill climb to get to the top and continue to improve ourselves until we are undeniably the best tag team in professional wrestling.
Yeah, and then staying on top once you guys are champions as well. I mean, obviously the work begins there as well when you guys become NWA USA Tag Team Champions. And just talking about that, I mean, obviously, like you guys said, the Fixers have been champions now for several months. We see them all over Powerrr, specifically NWA USA. They're all over the show. They talk a lot. They yell Fixers roll a lot, like you said, Anthony. And they're a great team. Do you guys feel, and AJ, I'll start with you, by winning those championships, it might give you guys more of a platform to maybe be able to speak more, cut more promos, show more people what we're kind of seeing right now, more character, and kind of getting to hear from you guys more, because we hear from the Fixers a lot. I feel like we don't get to hear from you guys enough.
Well, there'll definitely be a bigger platform for there, and like the entertainers are they're entertainers. The Fixers are entertaining guys,
sure.
Without a doubt, they're entertaining. But yeah, I think if the platform grows, the opportunities grow to get our message across and to seek out more challenges and I like talking. Obviously, I'll sit here and talk your ear off all day if you let me. I know we said 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll talk for that just on one question. But no, without a doubt, it gives us more of an opportunity to get our message out there, to get ourselves out there, and just grow the brand and grow our brand and it's definitely exciting to think about for sure.
What about you, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, even on the Christmas special, they had
Yep.
us talk more about Mima's delicious Christmas ham and about how important family is to us. But the thing that I think gets lost, and again, I'll go back to New Orleans, is the Fixers absolutely entertaining. We were in there with them, and they know how to fight. That's exactly what we're in that match in Knoxville for. AJ knows. He felt how strong Wrecking Ball is. Jay, both of those guys. So I think that's the aspect that they miss out a lot on both sides is we're entertaining guys. We like to have fun and talk, but at the same time, everybody knows the Fixers are entertaining. The second that they step in that ring, it's going to be a fight like you won't see the rest of the night. To me, that's really the big difference is you'll get to see more of us once we win the U.S. Tag Championships. But as far as retaining them, that's going to be fun for us too, because we always love a good fight. We know the Fixers are going to be lined up for us. We know every team down the road going into Tampa, and honestly, into Mexico, because we're going to have the U.S. Tag Championships. La Rebellion is the World Tag Team Championships, and they're down there all the time. So I'm hoping we get to lock horns with them because that'll be a fun fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many teams to choose from right now in the NWA Tag Team division. Given the fact there are 2 sets of tag team titles, giving more opportunities to 2 more teams, like we said earlier, just so many teams to talk about. You mentioned La Rebellion, the current reigning World Tag Team Champions, have been on and off for the better part of the past 2 years, really. Beyond La Rebellion, is there another match you guys are really hoping to have at some point? I mean, obviously, we're getting the Fixers match on Tuesday on this live Power, but beyond that one, the obvious one being La Rebellion, is there another team you guys haven't faced yet that you're looking forward to eventually clashing with in the ring?
If it all ever works out, man, the big fan, if you will, of the Kingdom. I like Matt and Mike, and I think that would be a fun, entertaining exhibition of fight tactics if you want to go that far. Those guys, I know there's a lot of tag teams that are up and coming, as are we still. You know, again, climbing that mountaintop, and there's hungry tag teams that want a chance, and I'm willing to take on any and all challenges. Heck, if we could work a deal with FTR, that's my dream tag team match. But
absolutely,
you know, they're too busy over in Japan, and I think they're in Mexico. I think they're the AAA tag team champions, actually, now that I think about it, or they were at one point. So
yeah, they just dropped the titles.
This is just as far as dream matches. Unfortunately, one of mine isn't going to be possible even because a few years ago in the Crockett Cup, or it may have even been last year, the Briscoes, that would have been an amazing team. And not to bring the mood down, but those are guys that same thing. They're guys who love to fight, and that would have been incredible. That's something that has always been in the back of my mind. And that would have been an incredible match. As far as guys that are with us,
that family first aspect too. So that's always something that we look towards.
That would have been, to me, that would have been a perfect matchup, especially somewhere like a Crockett Cup, something like that. As far as teams that are here, always La Rebellion. I just think as far as size and how physical they are, in spite of all their high flying and everything. But then you have people like Sal Renaro, Judas, Gimp, any of those guys. Actually, let's just go with Renaro and Judas. Please don't make me wrestle again. But I will. I'll fight him. But any of those teams, I'd be happy to see. And that's
Max is definitely the most imposing figure. I love Judas. You know, he's a big dude.
Yep.
But Max might be the most imposing figure in the National Wrestling Alliance, without a doubt.
Yeah,
absolutely. So any of those teams, I mean, you have to look across the board, and you just mentioned imposing figures across the board, everyone in NWA. That's why I enjoy being a part of it. I like watching it. You have Camille as a champion. You have the women's tag champs with Kenzie and why am I blanking?
Ella.
Name, help me out.
Yep.
Thank you. But you have everyone, and everyone's so good at what they do. It's just to be a part of that championship line. That's what I'm excited about, and why I'm excited to be in the company. Period, because we're all big people who can fight, and that's what I enjoy. So really, any tag team that's in the NWA, because it's all going to be a fight.
Oh yeah. The Blunt Force Trauma, the new tag team that just showed up with Miss Aaron Stevens. That's that's another big tag team now. So that's like size wise, physicality wise, those guys are pretty physical. And I think, Anthony, I was just thinking, you mentioned Camille, and Tom comes to mind. Like, is there an iteration of, you know, like a Tom Latimer, Doug Williams, or Davey Boy Smith comes back around, and or Harry, or whatever we want to call him today, and you know, there's
any
all these
of those guys,
but you also think there's Jax. I don't know if you guys, Chris Silvio used to wrestle. I know he's getting in great shape. That's a possible tag team that could step into any ring. You've got Tyrus and G's.
Yeah,
those guys are dangerous. Any iteration of Idol Sportsmania.
Yeah.
If you want Tyrus, G's, Clearwater can get these hands again.
You're gonna knock him out again.
I don't know if that's copywritten or anything, but yeah, no. Scion, he wants to step in the ring. You know, I'm thinking of all the off the path tag teams that we could potentially face that could be thrown together because they do have chemistry and they do have a history.
Yeah.
And
that we aren't looking at right now.
Yeah, we don't even know what's coming down the pipe, because that's the thing, is a lot of people didn't even know that I was coming into NWA. And as far as Corgan just sees different things that he likes, and that's when he grabbed us and made sure that we were featured on NWA. So there could be teams that they're already looking at that we have no idea. So it's exciting what's coming down. Yeah, El Begotten will definitely fight anytime. We've only been in the ring with them once. I know you're such a, you know, big fan of the name Morton's there, AJ.
Yeah, any of them. They're apparently a tag team too. Something like that.
Yeah, we'll fight any of them though.
Yeah, no, you talk about that roster, you list off a whole bunch of people right there, and it just goes to show how deep that tag team division is right now. And even over the last year, you mentioned all the people that NWA has added to their ranks. You talk about Max, you talk about Matt Cardona going for the World Championship, coming up on the show on Tuesday. Taya Valkyrie coming in. A lot of other notable names from some bigger promotions now coming to NWA, shining more of a light on the show. Is it cool for you guys to see all these other people from various walks of life, various promotions, all coming together to support the NWA brand, give it more of a platform, bring more eyes to the product? I guess I'll start with you, Anthony.
Yeah, I love that about the NWA. And what's interesting to me about that is they have so much history, tradition, lineage. And then you have new people. Like, we have our problems, and I'll knock him out too if he ever says anything about Cazana again. But Jordan Clearwater as a champion. And then you have to look at all the lineage of that championship. So it's winning these U.S. tag team championships, all the lineage that those carry, the fact that the NWA has had those for so long. It's something to be extremely proud of. They keep bringing in these new people, and then they pair them with all this history and lineage. I'd love to see some of the old some of the old TV champions come back in and interact. I'd love to see any of the U.S. tag team champions that held them before come back in. And that way, not even to have a fight, but just to interact, and we get that knowledge whenever they're at the shows. You have Missy there, Barry Windham, people like that, and you get to talk to them, and you learn so much more about where everything came from. And it's just impressive to me because they're growing so many people, and it's not just as blank slates. I mean, you have AJ and I, who, this is our life. This is what we do, and we wrestle, and then we get all of this knowledge. So I enjoy that they're bringing in so many new people, so many people from TV, getting to talk to everyone, but they're growing the business in such a different way. They're giving us all of this history and this legacy, and then we can walk around too, because I've got this championship sitting right here because I take it around the country and I travel with it. And that's exactly what's going to happen with the NWA US Tag Team Championships, is we're going to win them. AJ travels around the country. I travel around. He's coming out to Texas later this year. I'm going up to Tennessee again. Just saw him in North Carolina a couple of months ago. We travel around, and we carry those proudly as a banner for the entire company. So I really enjoy that they're giving us this wealth of information to then travel around, and we can pass that on and help grow the actual sport of wrestling.
Yeah. Kind of on that same page, AJ, I guess.
Oh yeah, I get excited every time I see somebody that's a new face to the NWA coming in. The legends,
Yep.
The current legends, the people that will be legends, the people that have made it, the people that have been there, done that, the world champions. You know, it's definitely a ton of knowledge if you're willing to receive it. And they've also got great stories. That's one of the things about pro wrestling locker rooms is that they're full of larger than life characters, and that there's always a good story going around, and you can always hear, I know Dr. Tom's got tons of stories, and I was ecstatic when I saw him when he decided to come to Knoxville, and he's been with us ever since. I know Austin Isles got tons of stories. They did their little NWA Presents stuff that they got to tell some of those untold stories, and that was entertaining for a guy like me to watch. But yeah, so it's exciting to see other champions, other names coming into the NWA, and then it's also, like you said, it's also exciting for us to be able to take our platform and go to other promotions across the country. And wrestling is a cool thing if you're really into. Again, this is what we do. This is what I want to be. This is what I've always wanted to be when I grow up.
Yep.
For a little while, and fell off the wagon a little bit when it came to being a wrestling fan, and then got right back on it, and just now I'm a professional wrestler, and it's exciting because the NWA is the foundation for, at least for me, in my opinion, it's the foundation of all of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
At this point. They were the governing body for the territory system. I know people that are actively trying to bring back smaller territories, knowing we can't you can't compete with the likes of the big guys right now, but I think territory wrestling is making a comeback slowly but surely, and the NWA, I would assume, again, just my personal opinion, is at the forefront of fueling that fire. So it's exciting to see all these guys come into the NWA. Matt Cardona's got great stories. He tells you about anything that you ask him a question, he'll answer it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird when you think about, not weird in a good way. It's intriguing when you think about the different kinds of talent that are sitting in that locker room at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely, I'm right on the same page. Not to get long winded or anything with
no,
but I'm definitely on the same page with Anthony when it comes to the talent coming into the NWA.
And what you just said real quick, Matt Cardona is a perfect example. I didn't even think about, you have somebody coming fresh off of the other company versus Rolando, who beat him twice. You never would have expected that. But in the NWA, you're able to find out, oh, well, Rolando, who a lot of people hadn't heard of, now everybody knows who he is.
He's probably the biggest fan favorite in the entire company at this point.
He's definitely my favorite, that's for sure.
I'm going to be watching when he gets his heavyweight title shot.
Trying to find my Rolando shirt. I was going to give him a quick plug. There it is.
But yeah, that's just a prime example of it. And heck yeah, he's got him a fan right there.
There you go. Hey, he's right. He's not wrong. He beat Matt Cardona twice.
I mean, we beat him at the Christmas special, though, right?
Yeah. So by proxy, we beat Cardona as well.
Beat Cardona. Dang.
Was that not Rolando's? I think that was his first loss, right? I mean, Rolando's been rolling for months now. I think when you guys beat him on the Christmas special, had he lost before?
Technically,
I think Cardona lucked out.
I think Matt Cardona might be Rolando's only loss. I think he caught him in New Orleans, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
The night the world cried.
But one loss. I mean, he's still up 2-1 on Cardona. So
it's
I've got the shirt. I been there, got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
He is missing that T on the end of twice, but it'll be all right. We're gonna hold it against him.
Hey, if you beat Matt Cardona twice, it doesn't even matter. The guy can spell it however he wants. It doesn't even matter. But kind of going off what you guys, going off what you guys said as far as the NWA is concerned, with this show coming up as we wind down here, Live Powerrr. I mean, this is a big another step for the brand. Powerrr's been around now for a few years. It's been around for over 3 years. Obviously, the promotion for a lot longer than that, as you guys discussed. But the first live television show. We've had pay-per-views and whatnot. big step here. I mean, going off what you just said, AJ, as far as this being kind of the next step for the NWA and continue to climb that ladder as far as more exposure and getting more buzz around the product and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge deal. Because I discussed, and I kind of have been very lucky to know what some of the goals are for the future. And
Sure.
the goals I know they had were to run more frequently, and this live power is. I know they if we could do a weekly live power every Tuesday,
That'd be great.
a
Yeah.
live USA every Saturday, I know that that would help out a lot of the talent within the NWA, still with their platform and everything. It would give them an opportunity to travel.
Mhm.
It would give us an opportunity to continue to grow the brand, and it's gonna be an experience. And I don't think it goes off perfectly the first time. Nothing really ever does. But I think that with the team that they've got lined up for this, and you've got all your producers and all your commentary, I think the live power is going to go off as smoothly as any first time live event has, probably and I'm going to knock on every piece of wood in the house. Um, I think it'll be one of the smoothest running shows that you've seen in a while. As far as I know, we're backing it up an hour, so that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
It'll be going from 7 to 8 or 7:05 to 8. It's packed full of everything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's our fight, which nobody in the locker room, with the exception of Trevor, Aaron, Tyrus, those guys could probably step in between the four of us if they wanted to. You've got a wedding going on. You've got, gosh, there's so much everything. The contract signing between Cardona and Tyrus. And,
Mm-hmm.
I know the women's world tag team champions will be here. The women's world champion will be tagging with Tom against Fodder and Angelina. And but going back to that live. I think that's the big thing for us, is that we finally get to go. We've done it with pay-per-views. Yeah, it's great. You've got a week to prepare for this pay-per-view. You've got months to prepare for this pay-per-view. The end goal, I would assume, would be, hey, let's run this power at least once a month live from a different location.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how it goes. I know Knoxville, like I said, was dying for a while. I think the NWA is responsible for the revitalization. That's a $7 word you can use today in your everyday vocabulary. Revitalization of professional wrestling, true professional wrestling in Knoxville. And man, I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a success. And of course, I'm extremely biased.
Yeah.
Because it is, my dad and I are helping. We put flyers everywhere.
Awesome.
Everybody that I talk to when I go to the gym, is talking about it. I know I went to the gym and I was like, hey guys, if you let us put up a poster, I may be able to copy some tickets, knowing I'm already probably going to get fired for asking for comp tickets.
Yeah.
But and the guy was like, man, I've already bought my tickets. It's like, oh, I haven't even hung up a poster yet, but that's cool.
That's
Thank
awesome.
You.
Yeah.
So I mean, for everywhere north, I was telling, I think I told Dad, I know we talked about it on the NWA podcast, up towards Dandridge, which is about 2 hours north of Knoxville, about an hour and a half, maybe, all the way down through Chattanooga area where my pop goes all the time, and as far east as Bristol, and there's some other small towns over here that nobody knows, all the way out west as far as like Nashville and stuff. I know we got posters everywhere, trying to bring as many people as we can. I know we got a big room. That was one of the things that Joe mentioned. Joe Galley, and said that Kyle might have accidentally booked a room that was a little bit bigger than Always Ready paper.
Interesting.
So it's bound to be an exciting time, and the only thing I can see going wrong is just that the live feed, for whatever reason, decides to be not as clear as they think it's going to be. So I think we'll be fine. I think we're going to excel at what we do, and to wrap it all up, I think this is going to be the start of a beautiful, beautiful chain of events in the National Wrestling Alliance history that will bring it back to the forefront, and the forefront of professional wrestling, and the prestige. If maybe that's the right word. I don't know if that's the right word. I already gave you a $7 word. I don't have to come up with anything extra. But it'll bring it back. It'll bring it back to as close as it was in the 80s and the early 70s, when it was at its height. I think this is the start of that.
Yeah.
And being an international brand again. So I'm excited for it. I know Anthony's excited for it. Everybody in Knoxville's excited for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Although I'm excited as well. I'm looking forward to the show, and I'm looking forward to everyone checking out the show. And tickets are still available right now. As you said, people can check out the show in Knoxville this Tuesday, January 31st, the first ever NWA Live Power. You're going to want to be there when history is made with NWA. And first and foremost, when NWA USA Tag Team Champions, new champions are crowned when you guys take on the Fixers. I'm looking forward to that match. Yeah. Anthony, where can we find you in the Twitter machine or on social media? I know RCW's running the show this weekend. You mentioned that. Where can people find you when down here?
Anthony Andrews is going to be all my social media. As far as just started to TikTok, look for the Thoroughbred
Nice.
on there. So, yeah, just excited. There will be a lot getting posted about us being live in Knoxville.
Awesome. What about you, AJ?
It's AJ Cazana on TikTok and AJ Cazana on Twitter and AJ Cazana also on Facebook, and then AJ Caz1 on Instagram. And I think that's all I've got. I've got a Patreon, but I don't do anything on it because why would I? There's nobody subscribing to see my ugly mug. So, I started a TikTok. TikToks are no fun. I'm not a TikTok guy. I can't do it.
I guess it's the next wave.
Bring back Vine.
Right? Yeah, bring back Vine.
Wait,
that's a
can
throwback.
we start a Vine? Yes, Country Gentleman on Vine.
The 6-second videos, the B reels. Well, apparently B reel's the big thing now, and I've got to go create a B reel or something. I don't even know.
I have one of those, but don't follow me on it. They're terrible.
I'm the realest dude I know. I don't know what else I need to do.
Well, I got to go check that. I'm behind on all this stuff, so I got to go create some accounts for all that stuff until the next time I talk to you guys. But hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, you got the NWA USA Tag Team titles in the background. So I look forward to the match on Tuesday. AJ, Anthony, thanks so much for the time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, bud.
Appreciate you having us. See you, buddy.